The fitness world loves a religious war. On one side stand the Iron Warriors, slaves to the barbell, chasing absolute mass, while on the other are the calisthenics purists, defying gravity on park bars to chase absolute leverage. Both sides claim their method is the ultimate path to a godlike physique, but both are looking at the problem through a broken lens. If you want a truly flawless frame, you need to understand the physics of the architecture. It isn't about which style is universally better. It is about understanding what kind of stimulus you are throwing at your nervous system, as weights and body weight manipulate muscle tissue in fundamentally different ways. Weights allow you to play God with isolation, forcing specific muscles to grow in a vacuum, whereas calisthenics forces your entire frame to operate as a singular, unyielding unit against the pull of gravity. So stop fighting on internet forums and look at the blueprints. Let's start in the gym, where the greatest weapon of the weight room is simple progressive overload. If you want a muscle to grow, you just add a plate, turn a dial, or grab a heavier dumbbell. This makes the weight room highly predictable and incredibly efficient, since your body doesn't care if a force comes from an iron plate or gravity. It only responds to tension. But the gym has a superpower that bodyweight training simply cannot match: surgical isolation. Think back to our shoulder blueprint. If you want a wider frame, you need your lateral delts to grow. And in the gym, you can pick up a light pair of dumbbells and execute a lateral raise where the tension goes exactly where you want it. Your traps don't join the party, and your core can completely relax. The same applies to your hamstrings, biceps, and rear delts, allowing you to patch up weak spots in your sculpture with laser-like precision, bypassing the rest of your anatomy entirely. However, this hyper-isolation is a double-edged sword. When you train muscles in a vacuum, you build size, but you don't necessarily teach those muscles how to talk to each other under high stress, meaning you become incredibly strong in a fixed line of path, but lack the structural coordination required to stabilize your own frame when the safety of the gym bench disappears. Now, step onto the pull-up bar, where calisthenics changes the rules of the game entirely, because instead of moving external objects while your torso stays static, your torso becomes the object. This forces a phenomenon known as closed-chain kinetic movement, meaning when you pull your chest to a bar, your brain has to coordinate dozens of stabilizing muscles just to keep your body from swinging wildly. Look at an athlete performing a simple pull-up. It isn't just a lat exercise. Their core is completely braced. Their glutes are squeezed tight, and their forearms are gripping for dear life. This full body stabilization is why bodyweight training builds such an incredibly dense, unified look, forcing muscle groups like the serratus, lower traps, and deep core to fire constantly. It creates an athletic, high-contrast silhouette because gravity acts as an unyielding judge, demanding that you stay lean, because if your body fat creeps up, your performance drops instantly. But calisthenics has a massive architectural flaw. Progressive overload is a nightmare, and to make an exercise harder, you can't just add 5 pounds. You have to change the entire physics of the movement. Moving from a regular push-up to a pseudo-planche push-up requires a massive leap in joint strength and neural adaptation, making it incredibly difficult to isolate and grow specific, lagging muscle groups. If you rely solely on bodyweight training, your lateral delts and rear delts will almost always lag behind because there is no natural bodyweight movement that isolates them effectively. Conversely, if you rely solely on machines and benches, your deep core stabilizers and grip strength will begin to rot, leaving you with a physique that looks powerful but performs like glass. Put them side by side on the blueprint grid. The gym builds raw material and localized volume, while calisthenics builds structural integrity and relative power. The gym allows you to easily scale your workouts regardless of your current weight, whereas calisthenics scales heavily based on how light and lean you are, punishing excess mass ruthlessly. If your goal is pure, unadulterated bodybuilding volume in the shortest time possible, the gym wins. If your goal is neurological mastery, core stability, and functional movement, calisthenics takes the crown. But why are we pretending you have to sign a contract with only one side when the most dominant physiques on the planet exploit both systems to build a complete sculpture? The true master of the frame takes the compound power of calisthenics and fuses it with the laser-focused isolation of the gym floor because that is where real aesthetic dominance lives. You build your foundational upper body thickness with heavy weighted pull-ups and deep parallel bar dips, forcing your core to lock down and stabilize your frame from head to toe.
Then, you walk into the weight room to surgically carve out the details, grabbing the dumbbells to force the side delts to cap out wide and hitting the cables to isolate the rear delts. Stop letting internet trends dictate your training architecture because your physique doesn't care about gym politics. It cares about intelligent mechanical tension and flawless execution. Pick up the weights to sculpt the details. Get on the bar to build the foundation. Stop making excuses. Stop choosing sides. And go build a frame that commands respect from every single angle.
Like the video. Smash that subscribe button.